Hello, I'm Shannon Edwards, and today I will be performing basic first aid in small animal. I have watched the instructional video and read the assigned attachment. So first I will be doing how to do basic first aid on a fracture. I'm going to ask my assistant to step in to help me place a muzzle. We do that. Okay. And then I will grab a towel and we will use it as a makeshift stretcher. Okay. We'll pick them up, making sure to support the animal. Okay, and now we will try to stabilize the fracture as best we can until we can get the veterinarian here. So I will just place a modified splint. I know there is more danger in placing the splint wrong, so we're just gonna do a modified one until put the wrong thing on. This is not what I'm doing. Then I'll just have my restrainer hold that while I unravel some vet wrap. And I'll start by rolling off. I'll overlap 50%. And that is just to stabilize the fracture until we can get it in for x-ray and my vet can take a look at it. Okay. Hi. And now I will be doing a basic first aid for bleed. So first things first, I will have somebody help me hold to apply a muzzle. And then we are just gonna pretend he has bleeding going on his right leg. So first thing first, I will just apply some bandage. And at first, I will just hold it for 3 minutes. And then after those 3 minutes, I will check to see if it's still bleeding. And if it is still bleeding, I will then apply a pressure bandage with some vet wrap. And then after that, I'll just apply a tourniquet. And then I will loosen the tourniquet every 15 to 20 minutes and check and see if the bleed is continue bleeding or not. And then
wait till the doctor gets in.
And then I'll just wait till the doctor gets in, and I'll just repeat that. Release the tourniquet every 15 to 20 minutes until the doctor gets in to check and see if it's still bleeding. And when she comes in, I'll just release the tourniquet after those 15 to 20 minutes and check to see if it's still bleeding. And next, I will be doing basic first aid for choking. So when the dog first comes in, I will check his gum color and see if it's blue. That means it's cyanotic and he's not oxygenating adequately. And after doing that, I will open his mouth just to being careful, making sure I don't get bit. And I will check to see if there's any jaw obstruction, any airway obstruction. If there is, I'll just take my finger and scoop it out. And then after that, I will go to performing the Heimlich maneuver. So there's actually 2 ways you can do this. The first way is you can put both hands under the dog's belly, kind of like cup it like here, and then you will kind of just, in upward motions, kind of just squeeze like that. And then if that don't work, you will turn the dog laterally, and then you will take right behind the ribs and you will just kind of push, and hopefully that will make whatever is obstructing the airway come out, and if not, we will figure out the next step in that process, or just continue to do that until the vet comes and we go to the next step. If the Heimlich maneuver doesn't work, if there is a ball or something stuck into the airway, the trachea, you can perform a jaw obstruction maneuver. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to put the dog on its back, you're going to straddle it, and then you're going to take your hands and align where the trachea is going to be, and then you're going to cup your hands into a J formation, and you're going to push under that paw up, and once the ball pops out, or whatever is in there, once it pops out, you're going to give 2 rescue breaths, and then if that does not resuscitate, you are going to begin CPR until the doctor can come. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so next I will be doing basic first aid simulation for a heat stroke on a small animal. So let's just say that this lab has been outside playing in 99-degree weather for 2 hours running, and he comes in and his temp is 105. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the temp just to get a temp on him, and then temp's 105. I'm gonna get wet towels and I'm gonna drape it over his neck, and we're gonna continuously wet them. We can also run cool fluid, water, over his abdomen just to kind of cool him down. We can also put that on his paws or on his ears. Another thing you can do is actually you can do the same thing with alcohol. You can rub it on the pads of the feet and the pin of the ears. And then while we're doing this, while we're continuously keeping the towels wet, we will continue to take the temperature every couple of minutes just to make sure that it is going down. And we'll continue this process until the vet is notified and knows of the situation and can come and assess the patient and where we go from there and what to do next. And that's basically, we just repeat these process of keeping the towels wet and putting cold water or alcohol on the paw pads and the pin of the ears. And then maybe the doctor will want to do cool fluids after that and start an IV catheter. Okay, so next I will be demonstrating and discuss basic first aid of how to deal with a patient that's going into shock. So the first thing I'm going to do when it comes in, I'm going to check CPT or CRT, capillary refill time. If they are in shock, it'll be greater than 3. And then after that, I can also check the color of their gums as well. That will give me some insight as well. So the next thing that I'll do is I'll just feel for a femoral pulse, which can give me some idea as to what their blood pressure is, whether it's low, high, whatnot. I would then, can you hand me a stethoscope? After checking their femoral pulse, I would then oscillate the heart, just to get a heart rate, check for any pulse deficits. So as you check for pulse deficit, you'll oscillate the heart and feel the femoral pulse. Okay, and then after I check whether there is a pulse deficit, I would check heart rate, breath rate, and if your patient is in shock, you want to continuously check their temp. See if it goes up or down. If they do happen to go unconscious before the doctor gets in, you want to keep them as level as possible, not be moving them around, and hopefully by that time the doctor can come in and assess the patient for themselves and go further from there, whether it be inserting a catheter or whatever they want to do. Healing Paws, how may I help you? What did your dog eat again? Chocolate? Do you know what kind of chocolate? Do you happen to still have the wrapper? Okay. Let me write that down real quick. How much did he eat? Okay. Okay, what did you say your name was again? Meryl, okay. And which dog was it that ate it? Samson? Okay, let me relay all this information to the doctor and then I'll get back with you, okay? I'm gonna put you on hold. Okay, so at that point, since she is a client of ours, and her puppy is as well, we have all of the information that we need. I know how much chocolate it ate, what kind of chocolate it ate. So I'll relay that to the doctor. We know how much it weighs. Once I relay that information to the doctor, then I would relay information about what the doctor would want to do, whether she wanted to induce vomiting or not. It would be the doctor's call on what she would want the patient to do. I would not just be able to tell her to induce vomiting. If it was a more serious toxin or poison that they got into, we would refer them to poison control, which we do have the number of which we could give them. And then we would still want to see the animal at that point. And they would bring it in, and then we could work with poison control to figure out what to do. So the next thing I would do is I would demonstrate how to do basic first aid on an animal that is seizing. So when you have a client or patient that comes in that is seizing, you want to get them on a comfortable place with as less stimulants as possible. Make sure there's nothing around them that they could knock off, have as much padding as possible. If they are shaking, convulsing, paddling, or not having an active seizure, you want to make sure that you support their head. And while they are in this state, while you are waiting for your doctor to get an anticonvulsant or whatnot, you want to have people around them that is whispering. You don't want to be loud. You want to be calm, collected, in a calm environment. make sure the head stays elevated. And while they are seizing, you want to make note of the seizure, however long it lasts, how violent it is, what they are doing during the seizure, severity of the seizure, and you want to make sure that you place the animal in a place where it cannot harm itself, whether that be on the ground so it can't roll off a surface, in a rather open space if it is a bigger dog so they can't knock stuff over onto themselves, in a kennel with padding so they don't harm themselves while they're paddling, kicking, flailing, convulsing, and whatnot. And then hopefully by that time, your doctor can be made aware of the situation and they can come and give anticonvulsants, do an IV catheter, whatever it is that they need to do to get the seizures under control. And then I will explain basic first aid for chemical burns and severe burns. So the first thing you're going to do for a chemical burn is, because it is going to be painful, you're going to apply a muzzle to the animal. And then after that, you will flush the burn immediately with large quantities of water. And then after that, you relay the information to your vet, and then you go further from there. Now, it's kind of the same thing with a severe burn. You will first muzzle the animal, and then after that, you will apply an ice water compress to the burned area, and then notify your vet. And then after he is notified, they will come up with an assessment and go make a plan from there.